Hey, welcome back to Fast News F1. If you're following the Mexico Grand Prix, you know there was a moment that left fans talking for hours. Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton came together in a tense on-track touch, and the fallout is still shaking up the paddock. Right off the bat, Red Bull's Helmut Marko dropped a line that caught a lot of people's attention. He said he wasn't surprised at all by what happened. Now, that might sound like a casual comment, but for anyone who follows team dynamics closely, it tells us a lot about how Red Bull thinks and operates when the heat is on. In this video, we're going to break down the incident, look at the reactions, and explore what it could mean for the championship battle ahead. To set the stage, the contact happened early in the race, and it immediately had consequences. Hamilton received a 10-second penalty for the collision, and while some fans argued it was harsh, Marko's reaction was interesting because he seemed fully aware that something like this could unfold. It's not often you get that kind of candor from a top team advisor, and it hints at a deeper understanding of the driver's mindsets and the situation on track. What's even more fascinating is that Marko had apparently spoken to Verstappen beforehand, encouraging him to stay positive despite a tricky qualifying. That little bit of insight into team strategy and driver psychology is exactly what makes moments like these worth analysing. Now, before we go any deeper, I want to ask you something. Do you think the penalty Hamilton received was fair? Go ahead and vote yes or no on the card above, and I'll be watching the comments because I'm curious to see what you think. Also, if you enjoy quick, clear F1 breakdowns like this one, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. It really helps us get closer to our goal of 2,000 subscribers. Coming up, we're going to walk through the lap-by-lap breakdown of the incident. I'll take you through the qualifying context, how the race started, the moment Verstappen went onto the grass, and exactly what happened at turn 3 that caused the collision. Then, we'll look at how Hamilton's position dropped right after and why the stewards ultimately handed out the penalty. So, stick with me, because the next chapter will give you a full visual breakdown that makes the on-track drama crystal clear. Alright, now let's break down exactly what happened on track, lap by lap, so you can really see how this incident unfolded. Verstappen started the race in 5th after a tricky qualifying, and from the beginning, it was clear that the first few laps were going to be intense. As soon as the lights went out, the drivers were jostling for position, and Verstappen found himself navigating some tight gaps while trying to make up spots. He ran onto the grass briefly on one of the opening corners, which already set up a slightly risky situation. That's when the drama at turn 3 happened. As Verstappen went for the racing line, Hamilton was right there behind him, looking for an opening. In the blink of an eye, the two cars made contact. Verstappen clipped the edge of the track, and Hamilton had to react quickly, which caused him to lose momentum and drop a few places. The stewards later reviewed the footage and decided that Hamilton was at fault, issuing a 10-second penalty. When you watch it, it's almost like a slow-motion ballet of split-second decisions. One tiny miscalculation, and the results ripple across the track. What makes this particularly interesting is how the drivers positioned themselves before the collision. Verstappen was already thinking ahead to turn 4, and Hamilton was trying to defend his line. Timing, angles, and even track conditions all played a role in that moment. For Verstappen, it was a small touch on the grass, but for Hamilton, it was enough to force a reaction that ultimately led to the penalty. You can see why Marko said he wasn't surprised. This sort of situation is always a possibility when you push the limits at a track like this. I want to hear from you. If you were in Hamilton's shoes, would you have taken the same defensive line, or would you have played it safer? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I'll be highlighting some of the best responses in the next video. And if you're enjoying this technical breakdown, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow and keeps these detailed analyses coming. Next up, we're going to dive into the team reactions. We'll look at what Helmut Marko said publicly, what he told Verstappen privately, and how Red Bull's perspective shaped the way the team handled this tense moment. Trust me, you won't want to miss this inside look into the paddock mindset. Now let's take a closer look at the team reaction, because this is where the story gets really interesting. Helmut Marko, Red Bull's senior advisor, was quick to speak publicly after the incident, and his comment that he wasn't surprised immediately caught everyone's attention. At first, it might sound like a casual remark, but in the world of F1, every word is loaded. Marko's reaction tells us that Red Bull had a clear expectation of how Verstappen and Hamilton might interact on track. And that level of awareness can make a big difference in team strategy and driver confidence. What's even more revealing is that Marko had a private conversation with Verstappen before the race. He encouraged Max to think positively despite a challenging qualifying result. That shows a level of trust and psychological management that not all teams openly demonstrate. Verstappen wasn't just told to drive fast, he was reminded to stay composed under pressure, to focus on opportunities instead of obstacles. For a driver in the heat of a race, that kind of guidance can change the way they respond to on-track moments, especially risky ones like the Turn 3 contact. Red Bull's internal belief in Verstappen shines through here. The team clearly trusted that he could recover even after a tricky situation, and Marko's public and private comments reinforce that confidence. It's a subtle but powerful reminder that racing isn't just about speed. It's also about psychology, strategy, and knowing your teammate and rivals. I want to ask you something. Do you trust Marko's judgment in situations like this? Yes or no? Leave your vote in the comments. And if you follow the behind-the-scenes team drama as closely as the racing itself, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Every new subscriber helps us get closer to our goal of 2,000 Talon, and it keeps these insider analyses coming. Coming up next, we'll break down the consequences of this incident, the penalties, the race results, and how it affects the championship picture moving forward. There's a lot at stake, and the ripple effect of just a few seconds on track is bigger than many fans realize. Now let's talk about the consequences of that Turn 3 incident, because this is where the stakes really hit home. The stewards reviewed the collision and handed Lewis Hamilton a 10-second penalty, which immediately impacted his race position. Even though Hamilton had been fighting hard for places, those precious seconds cost him a spot on the track and changed the dynamics of the mid-race battle. On the other side, Verstappen, despite the early contact and a tricky start, managed to recover impressively, eventually finishing on the podium in third place. It's a strong example of how quickly things can shift in Formula One. One small touch can ripple across an entire race. Beyond the individual drivers, the penalty and recovery have significant championship implications. Hamilton dropped points that could have helped him in the standings, while Verstappen added crucial points to his tally. But it's not just about the numbers. Incidents like this force teams to rethink strategy on the fly. Pit stops, tyre, management, and defensive lines all get re-evaluated in real time, which adds another layer of complexity to what already is one of the most calculated sports in the world. Watching these decisions unfold gives you a window into how teams think, plan, and react under pressure. It's also interesting to note how fan reactions are divided on this one. Some argue the 10-second penalty was fair, while others feel Hamilton was just defending his line. That debate itself shows why moments like this are so gripping. It's not just about the cars on track, but also about how every small decision echoes through the championship. So here's a question for you. Was the 10-second penalty the right call? Too harsh, too soft, or fair? Let me know your vote in the comments. And if you're enjoying this detailed breakdown, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Every subscriber helps us get closer to our 2,000 goal, and it ensures you don't miss any future race analyses like this one. Coming up in the final chapter, we'll wrap everything together with a verdict, fan reactions, and what to watch for next. We'll look at the bigger picture of racing boundaries, team psychology, and upcoming track battles. You'll want to stick around for this one. Finally, let's wrap things up. and look at the bigger picture. The Verstappen-Hamilton incident isn't just a single on-track moment. It's a window into how racing boundaries, team psychology, and split-second decisions all interact in Formula One. Marcos, comments remind us that Red Bull is always thinking ahead, managing both strategy and driver mindset, while Hamilton's penalty highlights how quickly a small contact can have ripple effects on the championship. For fans, it's a chance to see the human side of racing, where confidence, pressure, and split-second judgment all matter as much as the car's speed. Looking ahead, there are a few things to watch. First, tracks with tight first corners or limited overtaking opportunities will always be flashpoints for similar clashes. Second, team strategies will evolve as drivers learn from these incidents, adjusting both aggression and caution depending on the situation. And finally, the ongoing rivalry between Verstappen and Hamilton is now even more compelling. Every qualifying, every start, and every race could produce another high-stakes moment that reshapes the championship battle. I want to hear from you. Do you want more technical breakdowns like this? Or would you prefer we focus on team drama and behind-the-scenes insights? Drop tech or drama in the comments so I know what to focus on next. And if you enjoyed this analysis, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Every single subscriber helps us reach our goal of 2,000 and keeps these in-depth videos coming. So there you have it. The incident, the team reactions, the penalties, and what it all means going forward. Keep watching the championship closely, because moments like this can change everything in just a few laps. Thanks for staying with me through the full breakdown, and I'll see you in the next video with more fast, detailed, and inside Formula One news.